I'm here today to talk to you about overcoming the biggest obstacle you'll ever face. Let me take you on a journey. 10 years ago, I had just graduated from college. It was time to let loose, to see the world. I took my life savings from 3 summers painting houses, packed a backpack and a surfboard, and set off into the world for an adventure with no itinerary. After all, adventure is just bad planning, right? 3 months into the journey, I found myself on a beach in rural Thailand. It was a beautiful evening. I was watching fire dancers in amazement, and I decided to partake in the fun, jumping a flaming jump rope, because I was 22 years old and invincible. In an instant, my life changed. The rope wrapped around my legs and ignited my body completely on fire. Survival mode kicked in when I needed it most, and with one last breath, an ounce of courage, I dove into the ocean a few steps away to extinguish the flames. Then darkness. Silence. I awoke in a one-room nursing station to look down, finding my body completely bandaged. What have I done, I thought. I had been severely burned. What must have been at least 24 hours later, I awoke, leaving a surgery room in a small ICU where there was a cat running across my chest and around my bed, hammering home the fact that I was far from home and in a dire set of circumstances. Being in this unsanitary hospital could kill me. And the pain, the searing pain was unimaginable. Yet the morphine they kept giving me made it feel like there was insects crawling over my skin. I couldn't tell which was worse. I just wanted to give up. I was downward spiraling fast, ready to quit. Thankfully, 5 days in this ordeal, my mother arrived to be my protector. I know now she was just as afraid as I was, but she chose to never show me her fear. Instead, she came into my hospital room every single day with a smile on her face and an air of positivity, daring me to dream about the future. She kept asking me questions like, "Colin, what do you want to do when you get out of here? Let's set a goal." My immediate response, "Mom, I'm screwed. The doctors say I may never walk again normally. What hope do I have? Life as I know it is over." But her positivity was unrelenting and infectious. And 3 days after she arrived, she was sitting on my bedside and I announced my goal. "Mom, when I get out of here, I'm gonna one day compete in a triathlon." Not something I'd ever done before, and looking down at my legs, it seemed rather unrealistic. But with a tear in her eyes, she nodded and wrapped me in her arms as only a mother can. It was many more weeks until I was released from that Thai hospital. I still hadn't taken a single step. I was carried on and off the plane and placed in a wheelchair when I got back here to Portland. The next morning, I was in my mother's kitchen, and my mom said to me, "All right, Colin, now I know you've got this big triathlon goal, but today your goal is to take your first step." She then grabbed a chair from our kitchen table and placed it one step in front of my wheelchair. "You need to figure out how to get out of your wheelchair and step into that chair." It took me 3 hours that day to work up the courage and strength to take that first step, but I did it. The next day, she had moved the chair 5 steps away, and the next day, 10. Each day, I could take a few more steps, until finally, after many weeks, I regained my ability to walk, and then one day, jog. Jogging felt like flying. But jogging was a far cry from running a triathlon. So for the next 18 months, I grinded with my goal in mind. And finally, a year and a half after my accident, it was time for me to take a shot at my dream. I showed up in Chicago to compete in the triathlon. I dove into Lake Michigan to swim the first mile. I got on my bike, rode 25 miles, put my shoes on, and ran 6.2 miles to the finish, crossing the finish line. I had done it. I had achieved my goal. And there was one more surprise in store for me that day. I hadn't just finished the race. I had won. Thank you. Through this tragedy, I'd learned an invaluable lesson. I had learned that life will test us with setbacks, but these situations aren't permanent. We have full control of our choices to keep moving forwards one step at a time. Maybe right now you're struggling in your own day-to-day life, feeling overwhelmed like it's just too much. You see, tragedy and other great obstacles befall all of us. And in these moments, our minds are flooded with doubt. We ask ourselves questions like, should I give up? Is this even possible? Or why me? Leading us to a negative mindset. But we don't have to stay there. The only question that we have when facing great obstacles is, how will you respond? You have a choice. And when you shift your mindset towards the positive, you will quickly realize that there is a reservoir of untapped potential waiting to be released by you. Achievement is not for the select few. Achievement is simply for those who never quit. It is for those who set goals. It is for those who put the most steps in front of the others. Achievement is for those who can overcome the greatest obstacle of all, their mind. So set a goal. Take the first steps. The chair is right in front of you. And when your steps get you there, push the chair further. When you feel like giving up, put your boots back on. Let go of fear. Thank you.